Hey everyone, Roxanne here from financerocks.com. Welcome to another weekly planning session. We'll be planning for the week of October 4th. So this is my Plan With Me work session. I am planning to do 3 silent work sessions of 5 minutes each for those. We will go over, to start with, a recap of the previous week. Just a check-in on how this week went, what went well, what could have gone better. A review for what we might want to accomplish in the week. So we'll do a 5-minute brain dump session. So just going through, thinking through all the things you might want to do for the upcoming week. We'll do a prioritization and scheduling work session. So another 5 minutes there for you to go back through that brain dump and identify which of the things are higher priority, which of the things can be pushed to the next week, and which things really do need to be done this week. The final work session will be logistics. So that's things like, what are you going to eat this week, doing some meal planning, looking at kind of your shopping list. What things do you need to buy and what things can you wait to purchase? I will do a regroup between each of the work sessions. So we'll come back together, say what we worked on, and recap anything. I'll share some tips as we go on kind of both goal setting and action planning. So a lot of us will set goals and then it can be kind of hard to execute on those goals. And that's the most important part. So making sure that we are breaking down our projects into manageable tasks, small enough that we don't feel overwhelmed and procrastinate on those goals. I'm guilty of that too, trust me. So just making sure that we are making things manageable for ourselves so that way we can get the most done each week, and actually are making sure that we're doing things that are going to make progress on the goals that we set, instead of, if you don't prioritize your goals, it's easy to just go with the easiest task or tasks that are the most urgent, but instead focusing on what are the most important things that are going to bring the most value and get me closest to my goals. So a little recap. So you would ask yourself questions like, how did this week go? What went well? What could have gone better? So for me personally, I didn't end up getting my blog post posted until last night, and I usually try to get it done on Tuesday nights. So definitely kind of behind the ball on that one this week, just kept pushing it off. So the timing of my tasks could be better. I want to stick more to a Tuesday or Wednesday blog post deadline. I spent a lot of time planning, which is good and bad. I tend to spend more time planning than I probably should. I need to be more concise and make sure I have a hard deadline at the end of a planning session, so that way I don't just kind of snowball and make all these plans that then it's hard to execute on so many at one time. So I could spend a little less time planning this upcoming week. Overall, it was a good week though. I got up early most of the days. Working on a good morning routine is going to be one of my ongoing goals for October and life. And so that was kind of what went well for me. Looking at this upcoming week. So what might you want to accomplish? We'll want to look at kind of the different areas of life. So you might say, what do you want to accomplish for your finances, money, business, career? What goals do you have in that area? Family and relationships. What do you want to, do you have any birthdays this week? Do you want to call certain members of your family just to touch base and chat? Health and fitness. What do you want to accomplish this week? Health-wise, do you have certain goals for how many calories or fitness goals? I have a running date with my husband after this, so I am super sporty today, but I'm also I'm planning to run a 5K at the end of the month, and I've only been running like 2 miles about there. So wanting to get my mileage up, working on that for the month of October. So I'll need to kind of break that down into, working on that for the week. Organization or environment. So any goals that you have for your house or things you want to accomplish around your apartment or yard, anything like that, any goals around that area. What are you going to do for fun or self-care this week? Making sure that we are incorporating some of those things, as well as downtime. What are you going to do to make sure that you have like chunks of time in your life where you can actually relax, making sure that we prioritize that. Education. What are your educational goals? Are you studying any languages or working on a course, anything like that? And then spirituality. So if you have any spirituality goals for the week. So with that, let's go ahead and get into a silent work session. Like I said, it'll be a 5-minute session. If you don't have any questions for me, we can go ahead and get started. Feel free to type any questions in the chat box. We'll regroup after the brain dump. And like I said, just, what might you want to accomplish this week is the prompt for this. So, we'll go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that's the end of the first work session. How did it go? Did you get all of the brain dumping done as far as what might you want to accomplish this week? Not for the month of October, which is what I almost said. Thank you, Andrew, for being on today. Andrew said earlier, need to work more on fitness stuff, have had 3 10-mile hiking days in September, which is really good. A 10-mile hike is, I count that as substantial. So feel obligated to match or beat that. I will not. Then you said, yeah, at least you're going to do 5K, can't even run a mile. It requires different muscles, I swear. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for being on. So I wanted to talk a little bit about breaking down monthly tasks into weekly tasks. So I just got my October goal setting done yesterday. So like one of the things I have on there is to move my kind of money planning section from my main day planner into its own separate money planner. I was curious, how do you guys track your goals? Do you use apps for tracking your goals and tasks? Or do you use like paper setup where you just track and log things on there? Just curious. I always like to learn how different people do it. So that way I can kind of tweak my own system to try to get the most out of it. But I do a combination of Trello and paper. So I'll do like initial goal setting on paper and then plug tasks to do into Trello, which I think is a good way to do it. It's been pretty helpful for me. So to go back to like moving my money planner section into a separate bullet journal, some of the first tasks would be planning out what sections I want to have. So there might be a monthly planning section where I would have each month where I would write my goals in. I might have weekly pages in there, although I probably will keep those in my main planner. And then things, trackers like savings goals and anything else like that. So kind of breaking that out into, maybe I could have one of the tasks for this week be just to come up with a plan for my goal pages. Say I'll have monthly goal pages, get those set up, and then weekly ones. And I find it really helpful to look at this as far as what's the one next action that you need to take for that goal. And this is, I can't take credit for this. This is David Allen's from his book, Getting Things Done, which I highly recommend. I love that book if you haven't read it. Which is identifying the one next thing that you need to do on that project to keep it moving forward. It just helps prevent overwhelm. I don't know about you, but I'll start like outlining a project and I'll get like 50 tasks written down and then I'm like, oh my God, I have 50 things to do and then end up not doing any of them. So thinking about what one task is the next step and then like just focusing on that. And I think that he does, I think he sometimes will like plan out like the next couple ones and then just keep them on like the back burner of next steps. But it's almost hard to like prevent myself from going full on into planning mode for everything that needs to get done instead of just identifying the one thing and then doing that one thing and then identifying the next thing and doing that one thing. So that kind of leads into the next silent work session, which will be prioritizing and scheduling. So prioritizing which of the actions and habits and tasks that you identified in your brain dump are the most important. Which ones do you want to do first? And then as far as scheduling, this gets into more action planning. You want to make sure that you're not only planning what to do, but setting aside some time to actually do it. And I suspect for most people, this is probably the hardest part of this whole process is actually finding time to do all the things that you want to do. It is for me. So just looking at your calendar and saying, okay, if I'm actually going to run 3 times this week, which days and at which time am I actually going to do that? I've heard statistics before about like if you actually have it on your calendar, you're much more likely to accomplish it compared to just saying, here are the 3 things I want to accomplish this week, and then not doing the work of finding the time for them inside of your week. With that, let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and boot this up. We'll do another 5-minute work session. We'll regroup afterwards, recap how things went, and then, like I said, this is the second out of 3 work sessions. We'll do one for logistics after that, so kind of like meal planning and shopping planning, that kind of thing. If there aren't any questions, we can go ahead and get started. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, end of work session 2. How did it go? Is that enough time to do prioritizing and scheduling? I did come up with a few tasks and habits to prioritize. So for health, going for a run right after this, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Saturday night. And I don't know if you guys do this, but sometimes I'll schedule 4 times if my goal is 3 times a week. That way, if I miss one, I kind of have another time planned as a backup. And that usually helps because, if something comes up on like Wednesday night, or if I'm feeling really tired Tuesday after the other live session, the Money With Me session, then I have a backup plan kind of already in place. Money for my money goal for this week, I want to sign up to be a mystery shopper. I've never done this before. I don't even know if people really do it in Montana. But I thought it would be a fun thing to try. I enjoy shopping, and I kind of have like one day a week right now where I go and do errands. So I thought it would be kind of convenient, I guess, to work something in on that front for a little side hustle. So yeah, if you guys know anything about that, open to advice. I know that there's a lot of scams on mystery shopping. Like there's a lot of companies that are not legit. But I do have a separate EIN number because they require your social security because since they pay you, they have to, give you tax forms at the end of the year. So that's how people scam you. But anyway, so I do have a separate EIN number. So that should help. And then I think that there is like a government webpage where you can go and see legit companies. It seems like there's a lot of them. It's not like one company and then they match you up with all kinds of different mystery shops. I don't know anything about it. I'll let you know once I do my research. Education wise, I want to start learning Spanish again. And I just realized I forgot to put that on my October goals. But like the next step that I would need to do for that is re-downloading Duolingo. So yeah, I took Spanish in high school and it's been a while. So definitely need to practice more. And then for fun, we were thinking about going golfing. I'm not super into golfing. My husband enjoys it. So probably try to go to like the driving range. We were thinking about maybe Monday since my husband has Monday off, but might be Tuesday instead. So, and that's kind of what I mean, like identifying what you want to do and then taking that next step of figuring out when in your week is that actually going to work? When can you actually fit in those tasks? Okay, so for the next work session is going to be all about logistics. So a little bit more as far as, how is this week going to flow? So things to think about during this session would be meal planning. What are you going to eat this week? I think this is an important one even for money because if we don't have a good plan, like us specifically, if we don't have a good plan, it's likely that we will go ahead and like get food out of convenience, which tends to be more expensive and less healthy. So making sure that we have a plan for what we're going to eat is a good money saving tip. And then kind of thinking through what do you need to buy this week, both for groceries and otherwise. The next question after that would be, is there anything on this list that can wait for the next week? Anything that you can push off and use purchase procrastination for is going to be good. And then logistics is really a good time to think about habits as well. So I talked on the live stream last week about how I like to think of what I want to do this week in 2 categories, tasks and habits. So as far as habits go, having a time set aside each day that's attached to some other habit or trigger is really helpful. So it's really hard to create habits just out of thin air. So if you're like, oh, every day at 10 a.m., I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, where it actually is going to be easier and you're going to have better success if you say every morning after I brush my teeth, which I brush my teeth every morning, then I'm going to do this. So attaching it to a habit that you already have instead of a time of day can be a good way to increase your likelihood of success. So thinking about kind of like, I think habit stacking, I think that's what they call it. So you have one habit and then you stack another habit on top of that, a new desired habit, and then maybe one after that and one after that. So some of the habits that I have set up for October already are things like my friend Danny from Bucks and Dough. Danny was recently on my channel, did an interview with her. They have an ebook it's called 208 Wealthy Life Challenges. And I started doing that. I fell off the wagon, so I need to get back on the wagon. And each week there's one money related habit. There is, health, self-development, and then there's one other one that I always forget. But so I want to get back on track with doing her challenge because it kind of incorporates a little bit of everything else. I did include the link to that in the description if you are interested. It's an Amazon ebook. It's just a couple bucks or something. So I want to get back on track with that. They are in much better shape than I am. They do CrossFit. So far the health ones have been the hardest for me. But some of them are like, add up all your debts or track your spending for a week. The health ones, so one was like do 100 push-ups, and they said you can break it into different sections. But yeah, definitely not a ton of upper body strength over here. So that's been the hardest part for me, but it's pretty fun. And I like to incorporate challenges because then I kind of have something prepared each week. I have to think about what I'm going to do a little bit less. And yeah, I have my running goal for October, but this will be like my other workout stuff. I'm just going to rely on her and Mike's challenges. So that's a fun way to go about it. Let's see, anything else logistic wise, making sure that we're not over planning our week. I'm super guilty of this, but you want to make sure that you actually have enough time every day to accomplish what you need to do and have some spots blacked out where you're not necessarily planning activities, kind of like a buffer block, I think is what they call it actually. So that you have some time for things that come up unexpectedly or changing plans if you need to. With that, let's go ahead and hop into session 3. It'll be another 5-minute session. Feel free to drop any questions that you have or let me know what you're working on this week. All right, no questions? Then 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that's the end of work session 3. So that was logistics. I had already done my meal planning earlier today. I'm thinking about Thai peanut noodles. I've never had this before, but I've heard that it's a good frugal dish to make. Soup, just because it's finally soup season, and spaghetti squash. So like made into spaghetti with hamburger. We usually cook in big batches and then just eat that multiple times. So we don't really have to cook like 7 meals a week, which is really nice. Just helps with planning to not have to plan quite as many meals. And we might end up making like fish tacos or something in addition, but that's kind of the plan for now. And then, anything else? I've lost my place. The next live stream will be Tuesday. So right now I'm doing these weekly planning sessions on Sundays. And then I will do Money with Me on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that's for working through money specifically. And, I include money here, but kind of weekly planning, it's good to look at all the categories and make sure that you have everything. But Tuesdays specifically are for budgeting, cash management, paying off debt, tips for saving money, all the money related stuff specifically on Tuesdays. I did just post my October money goals. If you guys are interested in that, they're over on the blog, which I did not link below, I just realized. I don't think I'll do a video for those just because I have many backed up videos to get posted on YouTube. I did a long interview with Doug Cunnington from Niche Site Project, and I've been chunking that up so you guys will see a couple more videos from that interview this week. That's really all I have for you guys. Did I miss any comments? No. Okay. Short little session today. Hopefully that was helpful for kind of thinking through your week, what you want to accomplish for both your tasks and habits. And with that, I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.